Hockey's A-List on ESPN Chicago.
In true Waddle fashion, Waddle turns to me, Tyler, and says, chocolate makes me feel funny sometimes.
It does. I think I have a food allergy to chocolate.
What does it
I'm
do?
not going to stop. It just has a weird internal reaction.
What are you eating there, brownie?
It's a brownie, a chocolate
Cliff
brownie
Bar?
bar, Cliff Bar.
Gotcha. All right, let's start with a little bit of Cubs here because the bullpen
Got
let
some
up-
nuts in it too, if you want.
Oh
some.
yeah.
Maybe you have a nut allergy.
No. I'm not adding it.
Anyway, the bullpen surrendered 6 runs
I'm good with
yesterday, all in one inning. And if you look at the way that the starters and the bullpen have performed since the start of May, the Cubs starters have gone 34 2/3 innings and allowed just 2 earned runs. They have a .51 ERA. The bullpen, on the other hand, has gone 20 1/3 innings, allowed 17 earned runs, has a 7.52 ERA. This all in the month of May so far. Has the Cubs bullpen reached a tipping point where you would be willing to give up a little bit more than maybe you'd anticipate in order to get a bullpen arm in there?
What does that mean?
Like maybe you're a little bit uncomfortable parting with one of your prospects.
I hate that.
That's why you build up your farm system, isn't it? To not just to bring guys up to the big leagues team, but also to use them to acquire players.
Remember all the belly aching people were doing when you got a pretty good starting pitcher in Quintana, who is a 2 or a 3, and you had to give up 2 prospects, and people belly ached for years about that deal. Now you want to maybe give up a prospect for a bullpen arm who maybe isn't even like the best bullpen arm.
What are you willing to give up?
Well,
You got a talent-rich farm system.
Yeah, you do.
Not just that, but it's the depth of the system too.
What can Matt Mervis get me these days?
You want
Mallory, what can he get me?
Bucket of balls.
You want,
Will
like,
he come with a bullpen arm?
Honestly, I thought he was one of your bullpen arms these days. So, can you part with him? Can you part with him?
He might get you a bullpen catcher, not a bullpen arm.
Look, you're going to have to. I mean,
he's definitely not staying at the Des Moines Hilton special room. He's got.
he's got it. He could buy a house in Iowa.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll take Owen Casey if you want Kovac.
No, see, like Owen Casey is untouchable.
No, but maybe
unless
someone
it's
in like
for someone great.
yeah, but maybe someone in like the 8 to 12 range of your prospect system.
I think you guys just need to tread water and listen. Cade Horton might be the solution for the bullpen this year.
Because then what? Because he's starting and then it pushes another guy into the bullpen? You're not using him in the pen, are you?
I think by the end of the year, he could be your high leverage reliever. Because listen, Craig Counsell, especially when he was in Milwaukee, he brought guys like Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff along as bullpen arms before they became starters the next year. I think Cade Horton could be the solution down the road for the Cubs as a reliever.
Ben Brown would also fit that mold as well.
It could be both those guys.
Well, may be already starting with Ben Brown.
Yeah. I'd imagine.
Sounds like you guys are
tonight.
a cinch to win the World Series now with this plan.
Or you can go out and trade a prospect and get a reliever.
This plan's going to bring you a ring.
Well, they will do that. They are going to do that. It's just a matter of. So who's the A's closer? It's Mason Miller, right?
Mason Miller, yeah.
Like, I heard the guys talking about that this morning. That's going to take multiple great prospects to get him. The price is going to be too high.
How do you know if he's any good? It's the A's. When are they ever nursing a lead?
They're only like 2 games out of the division right now, aren't they?
Yeah, and he's in the second year of control. He's not being traded by the A's. He's the only guy on who's like recognizable in terms of like a player that people get excited about.
Or if he is, it's going to take your top 2 prospects or a couple of prospects like that.
Plus, with the way that arm injuries are right now, are you really?
No.
Do you really want to trade for a guy who throws 103, 104 miles an hour?
No.
I would be very scared to do something like that, especially for multiple big-time prospects. Colleen Kane had a really good piece in the Chicago Tribune earlier today talking about going through each position group for the Chicago Bears and saying whether they've gotten better, stayed the same, or gotten worse. The only positional group that got worse was the defensive line, she said. Everything else was either the same or has improved from last season. Do you agree that only the defensive line has regressed from last season on paper?
I think if it has regressed, it's marginally.
Yeah.
Unique Ngakoue is the only guy, I guess.
Justin Jones, did they lose Justin Jones?
Yeah, he signed elsewhere.
Yeah, but like, I mean, you've got guys.
No, I know, but that's probably why she thought that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. I mean, if this is
the other thing too. If you look at where they started last year versus, I know she was going with where they finished, but Montez Sweat wasn't on the roster when the season began.
That's a great point. When the season started, yes.
I mean, I think if.
And they're signing somebody else.
Yeah. They may re-sign in Ngakoue.
Sure.
Yeah, I think the moral of this story is that they're in pretty good shape right now. If you have to think hard and really kind of talk around the conversation to come up with a good, solid answer, then you've done some work. I mean, I don't think who else. I mean, what other position? I can't think of a different position where they're not better.
Real quick, before we get to Michael Wilbon, the NHL draft lottery is at 5:30 tonight. The Blackhawks have about a 13% chance of landing the #1 overall pick. If the Blackhawks do indeed land the #1 overall pick tonight, do they have the brightest future in Chicago?
No.
Yeah, the answer is no. Let's say draft Caleb Williams.
You guys sound like hockey novices over there.
Guilty as charged. I'll stand with no.
If they land the #1 pick again tonight, we are going to be celebrating for Celebrini, my friends.
Look, don't hold back. You should celebrate, and it doesn't mean that the future isn't bright, but still, the Bears and the Cubs have a pretty good future right now. And they have pretty good teams.
And don't count out those White Sox. You know, this is really early stages of the rebuild.
That is true. And let's face it, they have a really good management group.